Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Insurance Town. I'm the Mayor Heath Sharon and the host of this podcast. This episode is recorded live in Memphis with my homegirl, Courtney Fenski of Accuity. I love this conversation. I love anything live like this. It's going to be a fun one for you to listen to. You have to forgive a little bit of the audio. There's some background noise. There's some things like that, but it's all good. It's all fun. This episode is sponsored by my friends over at Smart Choice, the fastest growing agency network, hands down. They do what they do for you because they love you and they want to help you. They want to be a good business partner. So they do that by helping you with lowering premium thresholds and raising your commissions. There's no wonder like 10,000 agencies across the country use them and $11 billion in written premium. You got to check them out. SmartChoiceAgents.com. Also, my good friends over at Canopy Connect. They are more than just a one-click solution to getting your deck pages and your loss runs and all that. Now they have intake forms and intake process, and they could do so much. Go check them out at usecanopy.com/Heath. Get a discount, get a demo, go check it out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will slide out of the way and let you check out this phenomenal conversation with my good friend, Courtney. Courtney Fenski, what's going on, sis?
Hi, Heath. I'm glad to be here.
Dude, we're here in Memphis.
It's a fun place. I like Memphis.
It really is. People have this bad thing about Memphis, but I love it here.
I love it here. My husband and I, we come a lot for Grizzlies games, and we stay downtown. We go to Beale.
Yes.
I think we're going to get season tickets. I like Memphis. It's got an energy that you don't really get to see in a lot of other cities in the U.S., and it's so close to Little Rock that it's quick 2.5-hour drive. We have a fun weekend. We get to come home.
And whether the Grizzlies suck or not, they put on a show.
Oh my gosh, it's a great show.
John Morant's my favorite player.
He's amazing. He's amazing. My husband he goes all out for it. He wears all the gear. We have to buy merch. It's always a spectacle.
Does your husband not go all out for something? Like whether it's work or video games or basketball or hanging out with you? I mean,
it's pretty much all out.
I mean, he's all out all the time.
All the time. When he's not working. But even when he's working, he's all out.
Yeah.
He's been all out for a month in Colorado right now.
Really?
Yeah, a whole month.
Okay, so that being said, I would say you're somewhat a workaholic, but what do you do like when you're not working? Like when you're not taking care of agents, when you're not doing Accuity stuff?
Yeah, so I always tell people that I would rather have the most boring, worst day of my life with my husband than the best day with anyone else. So when we find ourselves both at home, I just want to hang out with him, whether that's doing chores or rotting on the couch watching some stupid TV show, whatever it might be. Or I might go to brunch with my friends, and when we go to brunch, we move in. So we get there at 10 and we might leave at 2, or I might get home at 10 p.m. Just what's the day? What's the day?
People make fun of me and Stacy because all we do is hang out with each other. And it's like,
that's my best friend, dude.
Right. I'm the same way. And I think that more people should be that way. I'm like, I should be making fun of you for not wanting to hang out with your spouse.
I think that too. And he is my best friend. I want to hang out with him all the time. And people that are, I can't wait for my husband to go out of town or my wife to go out of town, or I just need some time. We can be alone, but together.
Right.
He can do something and 100%. I can do something. We don't have to interact with each other, but we can be together still.
Oh yeah. The other day, and I'm gonna tell on you, Stacy, but the other day she was so mad at me, just mad at me about something. And I was like, what in the world's going on? I was like, I just want to hang out with you. That's all it is. I just want to hang out with you. You're with the kids or you're doing podcast stuff, whatever. I just want to hang out with you. And I'm like, you're mad at me, but you want to hang out with me.
Correct.
Yes. I just want to be in your presence, right there hanging out.
You don't even have to talk to me. I just want to lay eyes on you.
Yeah, I was like, honey, if I'm mad at you, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to come close to you. She's like, no, I just want to be in your presence. I don't care.
Yep.
You're making me so mad, but I just want right here. And then I just want to know you're there.
I feel that in my soul.
See, Stacey, other people feel that way.
We feel it.
That's so funny. Okay, so tell me this. Take a walk down memory lane. Tell me a little bit about your insurance journey, because I've known you since like day one in the insurance business.
Yeah, man.
I feel like we go way back. So tell the audience, tell me about your insurance journey, where that kind of started, and what led you up to where you are now.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time on the agency side. I started in, I think, 2011. I'm not good with dates, so don't quote me on that, but I think it was 2011. Worked at 3 really great agencies here in the state, and I always knew that I wanted to transition to the carrier side, and I wanted to do marketing. I knew I didn't want to be a producer because I like a captive audience. At some point, they have to meet with me. They have the contract, right? So they're stuck with me.
Yeah.
I do really good in that. And so I knew I wanted to make the transition, but what I didn't want to do is be a marketing rep that didn't understand what agents were going through.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
really frustrated me when I was on the carrier side, when marketing reps would come in and you could just tell that they had never spent a day in an agency.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It doesn't mean you can't be a good marketing rep and
Sure.
not spend time on the agency side, but I think it gives you a little bit of perspective. So I got the knowledge. I worked for smaller agencies, then I worked for one of the largest agencies in the state, built my knowledge base, and then made the transition to the carrier side.
So again, we have similar stories there. I started off agency side, but I kind of wanted that same thing. I'm like, I wanted to understand the carrier part of it
Yeah,
so I could be a better agent
absolutely.
later on. Because I was like, if I could speak that language, 'cause that was the big barrier for me. I didn't understand, like, why are rates going up? Why is this happening? Why are they saying no to these risks and that risks? And since I had that background, then I was able to understand a little bit better. And then when I came back to the agency side with David and Sydney, I was like, oh, now I understand a little bit more.
Now I get it.
Yeah. And so you kind of had the same thing, but, a little different, but similar background.
Similar. And
understanding.
you get a peek behind the curtain on
Yeah.
both sides. And I think that's a really unique opportunity.
Do you feel like you speak CSR better because you've been in an agency?
Yes, I do.
So like when they're coming to you, because we all know it's not no knock against anybody, but a lot of agency people, they'll talk to carriers and they'll bitch and moan about this or that, or they'll complain about this or that. But again, you have probably a better understanding is that they're not bitching and moaning; they just need to understand a little bit better.
They need to understand it, and they have their own processes. And I think that's what a lot of carriers don't understand. Is there's this thing called agency protocols that you have to follow. And it just depends on what agency you're with. So it's different for everyone, but understanding that they have jobs that they have to do, they have metrics that they need to hit. We do as well. Where can we meet in the middle to be successful together?
The biggest thing that I learned, and I've talked about this off camera, but now we have camera on us and we can edit it out if we need to. However, like one of the things that I figured out pretty quickly was I always thought when I was on the agency side of, oh, these carriers just hate me. They don't want to write. They just want to say no to everything.
Yeah.
And then when I became a carrier, it was like, no, like literally like so many, and I could look at all these carriers on these plaques over here, like they really do want to try to write business. They want to help agents to grow. It's just a matter, like you said, processes, procedures, there's appetite guides, there's, you name it. There's all kinds of factors that go into it. And if there's anything I wish the agents listening right now can understand is it's not them saying no because they don't want to write it. It's no because of reason A, B, C, or X.
Yeah, and I think a lot of agents don't understand that underwriters have this fun little thing called audits. Yeah. And depending upon what carrier you work with, your audit frequency can change. Yeah. But you have people that are pulling your files, making sure that you are following carrier guidelines. Yeah. So it's not that they don't want to make that exception. Yeah. It's not that they don't want to help you out and write this account that's got a little hair on it or whatever it might be. Yeah. Sometimes it's literally that they cannot do that.
And just because they could do it last year doesn't mean they could do it, or 6 months ago doesn't mean they could do it now.
Yeah.
Things change.
Things do change, but I think that's the importance of partnering with stable markets and carriers, that it truly is a partnership. There's ebbs and flows to everything. Just being in it together, rolling with the punches. It's important to have a good carrier partner.
Sure. And then again, we get around in tables and we talk about these things.
That's right.
But like people that want to say, my clients are complaining about rates going up, or this is happening, or that's happening. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you think about it, and it sounds silly or cheesy on my side, but it's like, if you think about cars cost more to make nowadays. Yeah. House material costs, to put a roof on from 10 years ago is way more than it costs now, or less than what it costs now.
You're telling me I just put a roof on in February.
I did it not too long ago, November of last year. The cost of goods, the cost of labor, the cost of this, and then you talk about, like, it's funny, my son has a 06 Toyota Tundra, and he's like, I wish I had a backup cam, and I wish I had all these things. But again, if he were to get in a wreck, it's like, it's going to cost way less to fix that thing.
Absolutely.
Than it would be able to fix all these sensors. And like, when he gets in my truck, it's like, the seat buzzes when you change lanes, and like, this happens. But those things cost money.
They do.
And so when you have a car wreck, that kind of stuff costs. Or, all kinds of things go into that. And so it's like, I think if agents listening can understand that, and I say that now, I haven't sat in an agency in 5 years, but I would imagine it would be a little bit easier if you could explain.
If you can, our agents understand. They are immersed in this day in and day out. The problem is the average consumer that just truly doesn't understand. what's funny is I actually walked into a loss control visit with my loss control rep a few weeks ago, and the woman at the front desk said that insurance was a scam. And that's okay. That, well, it's not okay that she thinks that, but I can understand public perception of it. But the last time I checked, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars squirreled away to replace my house if it burns down. Or $1 million set aside if I run into a car full of doctors. It's for catastrophic claims. The maintenance policy is going away.
And, you know, we were in an Uber last night, about 6 or 8 of us, you know, headed to eat dinner, and we got in, we were talking about insurance, and the Uber driver had no clue who we were. I was like, what are y'all talking about? We're like, oh, just insurance. He was like, oh, insurance sucks. Screw insurance, it's the worst. And we were just sitting here all staring at each other, 6 of us, and we were finally like, we're all in the insurance business. Like, oh, man,
it's back up, right?
Yeah. But I mean, people do have this bad perception of it because it's not explained well. You know,
it's not.
Have people outside of our industry that have trained our clients of like, you know, 15% or more in 15 seconds or less, or 15 minutes or less. And you've got, you know, different people saying, oh, shop your insurance. And there's new tech companies that want to shop it. And not that it's a bad thing, but it's teaching our consumers that price is everything, and it's totally not.
Not anymore. If you can only sell on price in this market, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you, because I want to know what markets you're using.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. Which goes back to, okay, let's hit the Wayback Machine.
Let's hit it.
I met, you know, I didn't meet you, but when you and I had a conversation, I don't know how long it's been ago, you were with a great carrier.
Yes.
I mean, a good carrier that the state, you know, knew well. You loved it there. And you came with like, there's this new company coming into the state, and I think I'm going to go for it. Wait, they're going to blow up in the state. They're going to do really well.
Yeah.
They're going to be a household name. I was like, I've never even heard of this company.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, how many years have you been there now?
I started in August of 22.
Okay, so 3 years later now almost, and it's exactly what you
household
said
name
it was going to be. How did you know? Like, was there certain things that clued you into that, or was there something? And now that, you know, agents are listening to this, that either with them or not with them, or whatever it might be, like what drew you to that company?
In 2019, I was at a convention in Texas, and I was talking to some agents, and they kept talking about this carrier, Accuity.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of them.
Yeah.
And so I finally asked, who is Accuity? And it seemed like all the heads turned to me. They said, you don't have Accuity? And I said, no. And they said, well, get ready, because when they come to your state, they're going to take all your business.
Okay.
And that throws up a huge red flag for me. And then they said something that really got me. You can't compete with them. They send people wine. So I thought that was really funny. So one year, our annual report was bottles of wine. It changes every year, but that was one year. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to start doing some research on this company.
Yeah.
And so I did. And I got online, and the presence that they had online and the information that you could get about this company was light years ahead of, I think, other competitors. And so when I found out they were coming to Arkansas, I actually found out from an agency here in Memphis that told me about it. Okay. Yes. And I said, I have to have that job. I have to have that job. And I put everything into getting this position.
And so, but it wasn't like you were unhappy somewhere else.
Absolutely not.
You just like, I want to be a part of this.
I want to roll out of state. I feel like I knew the right agencies. I knew who the rainmakers were. If I could come in clean slate and hand pick my team, it doesn't
a lot of
get
pressure on you though. Or do you like that kind of pressure?
I think I like it.
Yeah.
I will always bet on myself.
Yeah.
I will always bet on myself. And I knew that this state and the people that are in it, if I could explain to them where I was trying to go, they would go with me.
Sure. It's crazy.
Isn't it though?
Yeah, it's wild to look back. And I tell that story a lot. You know, Stacy and I talk about it because, you know, my wife and I love you. And we're just
well, thank you.
How in the hell did she pick that? How did she know? And like, you were dead on. And so it's crazy. So the other thing is, you know, I see this all over the place. And I work for Vertifor and talk, you know, a lot of Vertifor stuff. You guys are one of the first people to jump on some platforms with us and do some early stage stuff with our commercial raters and our personal lines raters. Like, is that just the way the Accuity thinks?
Yes.
Like, we want to be in the forefront of all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
What is their process behind that?
We embrace change.
Yeah.
We're okay with change. We didn't get to where we are today without change. Yeah. And if we want to strive in this market, we need to do things that our competitors aren't doing.
Yeah.
What's really unique about Accuity is our IT is in-house. So we are able to really build the things that we need to build to look forward to the future. It's all right here in Accuity.
And like for a long time, you guys were the only one on our commercial radar with Vertifor. It's like, why is nobody jumping on board with this?
It's crazy.
In the bind and all these things we've got with Vertifor. It's like, why are they not seeing the success you're having and jumping on it? But I think, like you said, you guys have embraced it where other people, and again, no knock anyone else.
No.
You guys are just okay with it and open to that. And
yes.
Obviously, if it works, great. I think, again, with Accuity, is it one of those things of like, we're not afraid to break stuff?
Oh, absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not. I think for a while, anybody at Accuity will likely agree with this, that we had to have the perfect amount of data and we had to have all of the information before we could pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And we started assessing things and saying, well, maybe the data doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. Maybe we can have enough data to make a good decision and pull the trigger and do something. Yeah. And that's where we are today. And we are growing like crazy, and it's because of not only who we are as a company, but the agencies that we partner with.
Okay, so question, if we have to edit it, we will, but I just have to know, like, for a long time, I've heard that when new carriers come in state, it's kind of dangerous to grow too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance that? Because I know the numbers, I don't know them particularly, but I've seen agencies talk about you guys and whatnot.
Yeah.
How do you balance that, growing too fast, but also growing smart and growing the right way?
This is the Accuity way.
Okay.
We want to write as much profitable business as we can get our hands on. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to buy business. Yeah. I'm not here to play the shuffle game where you move all your business from another carrier to me. I don't want that. I want organic growth for profitable business. And we have a model and an appetite where I can walk into an agency and say, I can help you with organic growth, and this is how we're going to do it together. So the growth that we've had is expected. That fits the model.
So there's no such thing as too fast or too slow. You guys kind of had it documented out and planned out a little bit.
I'm sure that actuary would say that there is too much too fast, but if we're making good decisions, we have a world-class training program that we put our underwriters through. Yeah. I would go toe-to-toe with any underwriting team in this state. Mine will win. They're incredible. Yeah. They know how to win and how to write business and how to write good business.
Sure.
And that's the success. It's not this, we have this immaculate appetite, which we do, but it's the underwriting team. Having a good underwriting team and a good underwriting manager and the runway to grow, that's all you need.
Now, again, not being afraid of change and growing with change. Do you guys see, with AI and all the things coming around there, do you guys see you guys embracing some of that change too?
Yes.
Or whatever's coming out. There's so many new things coming out, so much going on. You guys are still going to continue to roll through that. Just like, okay, if it's AI, we're going to jump on AI. If it's,
it's a tool.
Jetsons robot sweeping my living room, is it going to be something like? Just, you guys are looking at whatever tool it is.
Whatever tool it is, it's just that. It's a tool. So we do have Copilot integrated in some of the things that we do, but it is not going to replace the mind and the gut feeling of an underwriter. It is there to aid them. If AI can make it to where they can do their jobs more nimbly and maybe a little bit more quick, that's fine.
Sure.
But it's not going to make the decisions for Accuity. Our underwriters are going to continue to make their decisions for themselves.
And that's cool that you say that, because I hear it. I travel all over the country. I was in Vegas last week talking, and Accuity came up with different agencies from randomly, and they were like, we love our underwriter, we love our marketing rep, we love our this, we love our that. So no matter what technology you're on, whether it's Vertifor technology or whatever, you guys still put a lot of onus on the relationship. And is that something preached from up high of like, we want you to still have those relationships?
Oh, 100%. It is all about agency relationships, underwriting agency relationships. If we don't have that, we don't have anything. Yeah. And we say that if we partner with the right people, business will take care of itself. And I think Arkansas is proof of that. You partner with the right people and business takes care of itself.
Yeah, that was definitely true whenever you guys
yeah.
swept every award in the state.
Well, thank you.
But I mean, that was something that I don't think was, first of all, I don't think y'all knew it was coming, but second of all, it planned out. It was just something you were just doing what was in your DNA.
We just do what we think is right.
Yeah.
And we were absolutely shocked to win first year in the state. That's incredible. That's something that you hang on to that. And then we
Yeah.
go on to win PIA National Carrier of the Year,
Crazy.
which is just, it's bonkers. But
Yeah.
I say this with my full chest, that Accuity deserves it.
Sure.
They deserve it. We are like nothing I have ever seen in this industry. I have worked for one of the largest agencies in the state. I had access to every carrier that you could imagine, and I've never encountered an Accuity.
That's incredible. And so, a lot of people that think, I have Accuity for commercial, I have it for personal lines, but you guys are, ever expanding, it sounds like, in your appetite for different things, not just home and auto, or not just commercial lines, or not just whatever it might be. Is there any particular area that you can talk about you guys might see as, sorry, being live, I'm seeing people come by and I get distracted.
We're both getting distracted.
My squirrel moments.
I wouldn't say that there's a particular segment of business that we're trying to just really go all in on. We are putting a focus on small business. Like a lot of carriers are. Small business is bread and butter for not just a lot of agency partners, but for carriers as well. And so how do we get better at writing small accounts where you spend a lot of time on the agency side? If it's a $5,000 account and you talk to that account more than 3 times a year, sometimes you've immediately lost money. Not only have you lost money, but I've lost money. So how do we find that common ground where we can adapt and write that small business to where it makes sense for both of us?
And that's where a lot of the national players, whether it be Hartford or whether it be Travelers, some of these others that have the small business units and they have this or that, they've really leaned in and done pretty well on some of those things.
They sure have.
Something that you guys are looking, a model similar to that, or do you have like your own Accuity way, or just kind of figuring that out as you go? Because again, time is money.
Time is money, and we will figure it out as we go, and it will very much be the Accuity way. Sure. I don't think we do anything like other carriers do. We do it the Accuity way. So there will be some changes, and we'll adapt as we can. But it's how do we write more small business?
So taking off Accuity hat for a minute, putting on, however many years of experience on, how does an agency look to write small business without spending 15 touches or 3 touches or 12? What do they do to expedite that process and have less touches?
The best advice that I have is my first agency that I worked at, we had A, B, and Y accounts. Why do I write this?
I like that. Okay.
Right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
On those Y accounts, you can't spend so much time trying to please them and trying to do everything that you can to keep that client. If it goes up a certain amount, you have to be okay with letting it walk off the books. Now there's always that exception where it's related to a much larger account, all the things that we all know, but you have to be okay with letting it go. There's plenty of people out there that will take that account.
100%.
But if you're processing 6 or 7 endorsements, you're issuing certificates, you're having changes throughout the year, you're in the red. You're just simply in the red. So finding that, whatever being in the black means to you on those small accounts and whatever you can stomach as a person, that's my suggestion.
So since we're in Arkansas Convention, I'll shout out 2 agents that are good friends of mine, probably friends of yours as well, that have a theory that I want to run by you. So shout out Brian Klingscales and Greg Sims, 2 of my favorite people. But they both have this theory of you have to fire your bottom 10% or 15% clients because they're probably wasting your time and money, or they're probably, not a good fit anymore, or they may be the ones that call your CSRs complaining about this or that. Do you feel like that would be a good piece of advice still today?
Yes. Yes.
Because like you said, that time is a great currency that people forget about.
Time is the most valuable thing that we have, whether it is in this industry or in your personal life, whatever it might be. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for a client is invite them to go get insurance somewhere else.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And you don't have to be mean about it.
No.
It's about a fit. It's, are we giving you the service that you need? And if you need us to remarket your $10,000 account every year, we're not getting you the service that you want. So go find someone who will give you that service, because I guarantee there's someone out there. 100%. Be who you are. Stick to your agency guidelines, stick to your agency morals, and just let it go.
Yeah. No, I think that's good advice. And I like the way you said that, because, inviting them to switch someone instead of kicking them out and saying, see you later. But there might be an agency down the street that has a better market for that, or that wants to play in that realm, or maybe has a larger staff that can handle that, whatever it might
Whatever.
be.
You can't be all things to all people.
Right.
You can't.
You know, I always joke around with agencies I consult with. It's like, find the enemy agency down the street.
Send them that way. I mean, you could do it that way if you really want.
But no, I do think there's a lot of truth to that. And so the other thing I wanted to run by you and see what your thoughts are, again, taking off Accuity hat, but just your thoughts of, I'm seeing a lot more niche-driven businesses and a lot more niche-driven carriers and tech partners and whatnot. Do you see a day and age where there's going to be a lot more segmentation in agencies of like, we only do work comp for dump trucks, or I don't know, I'm just making up something.
Right.
Or, do you see that? Or you still see there 20 years from now, there's still generalist agencies that are making good money?
I think two things can be true.
Okay.
So I think, yes, there will be those generalist agencies, but those agencies that can figure out that this niche-based business and being a true expert in that business, you can't be beat. If you can speak their language and tailor your policies and your coverage and everything to that specific industry, sky's the limit.
Sure.
But you always have to hedge a bet. And so I like niche-based. I'm in insurance. I'm a nervous person by nature, right? And so me personally would be just a tad bit nervous to say 80% of our business is in one specific industry.
Such a good point.
Because that is 80% of your revenue that you use to pay your employees, that they use to feed their families.
Sure.
So can you have that niche-based professionalism? Of course.
Yeah.
But keep your options open, I would say.
Yeah. You know, because I was talking to a guy in Vegas last week, and he was like, I'm opening an agency, and all we do, I think it was like, all we do is E&O for nonprofits.
Woof.
Or D&O for whatever it might have been. But he was like, that's all we're doing. We're not going to do the GL of the property. We're not going to do anything else, just this one specific line. I was like, okay. And he was like, I would build my whole book on that. And I was like, okay. But it was just the weirdest thing. But he was like, I'm telling you, that's where it's going in the future.
If it works for you, Haas, go ahead. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I understand that. I just wonder because there's so many theories on there what the industry, like people say, oh, AI is going to take over. We're not going to have jobs anymore,
it's not.
Which I don't agree with. You know, there's people that say we have to be niche driven only. But then, like, you're right, like the concentration of your business, if you have more than 50% in one niche, one person.
Or even one carrier.
Yes.
I don't want to come in and be 50% of someone's written premium. That's scary.
Yeah.
You don't want that as an agency either. Carrier management is a real thing.
It sure is. Like, if I'm in, you know, the Courtney Fenski agency and I've got a book, 50% of your book is mine, and it's truckers, and I get hit by a bus tomorrow, you're screwed.
Then what?
Right. You know, or that carrier decides, oh, we're done.
Which, how much have we seen of that lately? A lot of it, where all of a sudden your entire livelihood has been turned upside down. Think about all of the agents that you and I know that specialized in apartments.
Sure.
Ouch.
100%. Yeah.
That hurts.
Or anything like that.
Anything.
And, you know, that's the other thing I think is neat is seeing the growth in the E&S space.
Yeah.
I know you guys aren't in that space, but it's been pretty neat to be able to say, especially going back to, if it's not a good fit, push them somewhere else. It might be a good fit there. But I think it's been kind of cool to see that. And it takes a little pressure, I think, off of carriers like Accuity or
it does.
Whoever it might be.
Market capacity is, I think it's changing and it's always evolving. I'm glad that E&S is having its day in the sun and that they're providing a much needed service for this industry at the time. But I don't know that it'll always be this way.
Sure.
I have to be an optimist, even though I'm a nervous person. I have to be optimistic in this market and say that things will change and it'll get back to maybe being a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. When I first started calling agencies when I was with the MGA, people were like, oh, get out of here.
Yeah, why are you here?
Yeah. And then a couple of years later, I came in with ENC. Be like, oh, we love you. Come see us. Come wine and dine us. And then now it's like, people love to see the MGAs again. They
absolutely.
welcome them in with open arms and here, have this seat. Come join us and hang out. It's like, it's kind of a cool thing to see that come full circle.
Hey, it's a cycle. And these poor E&S carriers, they're getting inundated with submissions and they're just doing all that they can to get these submissions out the door. So I would ask everybody, whether it is standard market or excess market. That's just a person on the other end, man. Like they're trying.
They're really trying.
They're trying really hard. And I know that we all have deadlines and we have things that we have to get done, but let's be kind to everyone.
Completely. All right. Couple last questions for you.
Yeah.
One, we're in Graceland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this or not, and the audience knows this or not, but Elvis Presley used to give at midnight have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Did you see the sign down there?
Did you see? You weren't here last night. The line, they ran out by 10 o'clock. It was supposed to be till midnight.
Oh, wow.
Okay, how do you take your peanut butter sandwich? Are you more peanut butter, more jelly? Do you throw a banana in there, some honey? How do you take your peanut butter and jelly sandwich? If you tell me I'm allergic to peanut butter, then
I'm not allergic to peanut butter. I'm not, and I'm probably going to get kicked in the shins, but I do not like peanut butter and jelly.
At all?
At all. I am a pariah in my family because of that.
Golly, I love a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Not a fan, man. Not a fan. Every once in a while, you'll catch me eating one of those like little Uncrustable things that are meant for children.
Dude, I love those things.
I will eat one of those like once in a blue moon, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I had my fill, I'm done. Peanut butter and jelly is not for me, my guy.
Alrighty. How about this? Okay. Elvis is known as King of Rock and Roll.
King of rock and roll.
We got Michael Jackson's the King of Pop. You got Taylor Swift's the Queen of everything right
Of
now.
course she is, yes.
So if Courtney Fenski was the Queen of something, what would that be?
Wow.
What would that be for you?
What a question.
What would you want to be known as the Queen of? I can't do King of Podcasts because that's Joe Rogan, so I can't do that. I'm screwed. But if you were the Queen of something.
The Queen of something.
Or even Princess. It doesn't
Princess.
matter.
I like Princess. I like Princess. Man, I would say health and fitness.
Okay.
I am all in on health and fitness. Yes.
Why? Okay, what is it right now that there's so many trends that roll through? We're gonna go to the Fitness Town podcast for a minute, but what is it right now? There's so many trends that go through, and I hear like every time I get connected to one, I do one happens. So what is the trend right now that you tell people?
Don't follow trends. Eat whole foods. Eat whole foods.
Okay.
Do a little cardio, progressive resistance, and you will be good.
Okay.
You don't have to do keto. You don't have to do Mediterranean diet or whatever it is. Eat whole foods.
Okay.
Work out more than you don't.
Okay.
And you're good to go.
So for me, someone told me years ago, and I've done this for the most part, start on the outside of the grocery store.
Yeah.
And then work your way to the inside. Like
Absolutely.
I have kids, so I have to do the cereal aisle.
Yeah.
I do the outside first, and then I look at the basket and like, shit, there's $200 in there from the outside, so I'll stop here and go check out.
Yeah.
But it used to be I'd start on the inside.
Yeah.
And so, but
changes perspective.
Kind of whole food. I mean, that's kind of what that is a little bit, right? Getting
Absolutely.
The fruits and the vegetables and the
proteins and
dairies and whatever else.
You're good to go.
Okay.
A typical dinner for me is chicken, broccoli, sweet potatoes.
Okay.
I know it doesn't sound great, but you can make it taste great, right? But it's simple meals. Food is fuel.
Yeah. Yes. Lucas is being a jerk over there. So
thanks,
you guys,
Lucas.
If you guys work with,
can I come give you a hug on film?
You could later. if you're not working with Iron Peak, go. Did I say that right? Yeah, Iron Peak. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had his name right. All right. Yeah. Okay, so what about last thing? Okay, so how do you feel about supplements? Are you a supplement person? Or can you do too many, too less, too whatever?
I want to be a supplement person, but I just can't. I can't keep up with it. I might buy something and think, oh my gosh, this is I'm going to start taking fish oil.
Yeah.
And like for a week, I do like real good.
Yeah.
And then I forget about it.
Okay.
And so my, again, philosophy, if I just stick to whole foods and work out more than I don't, I'm good.
Okay. Are you one of these like, now we're just,
we're shooting it.
Are you like one of these 1 hour days good enough or like 3 hours a day workout?
Oh no, that's insane. Okay. I could put you through a 20-minute workout and you would not be able to get off the floor.
Okay.
If you don't have to spend an hour in the gym.
Okay.
You do not have to. That's a myth.
Okay. I mean, tying this back into nutrition, it is important, to have good mental health, mental wellness, physical health and whatnot, because we do sit at a desk all day and,
Sitting is the new smoking.
Speaking of which. But no, like you're right though. That's a good point.
Sitting is the new smoking. And I say that to a lot of people. And your physical health is directly tied to your mental health. And we are in a tough time in this industry. If there is something that you can do to make you happy, do it. Just go for a little 10-minute walk, man. Get outside, feel the sun on your face for a little bit. Forget about everything else that's going on. Take a deep breath and just, you have my permission to take a 10-minute break.
I got a lady that I work with, a friend of mine that's got one of those like treadmill things.
Oh, I love them.
Dude, it's like this big.
Yeah.
And she just stands there and like, sometimes she'll be huffing and puffing like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm walking while I'm talking to you. I'm like, oh my God, that's genius.
It's genius. If you have a meeting where you don't have to be
involved.
Or not have to be involved, but let's say it's just a team meeting where you're not taking notes, you're not doing, why not spend that 30 minutes on a little walking pad? You can get them up for less than $200, and that will be one of the best $200 that you spend for your health and wellness the rest of your life.
Love it.
Just walk.
Okay, my very, very last question.
Okay.
You are everyone's favorite marketing rep.
Stop. But say more. No, I'm kidding.
Right? Honest to God, why, like, first of all, I know that's important to you, but why do you think that is? I know you're going to be humble about it, but why would people say that about you?
I think I'm really good at getting the right people in the room.
Yeah.
If I can't make the decision, I will find you someone that can make that decision.
Okay.
And it goes back to spending time on the agency side and being on the carrier side. I think I can uniquely explain a carrier position to an agency, but the other side of that coin is being able to go to my underwriters and explain to them why an agent is doing what they are doing.
Yeah.
It's not just to make your job hard. They're not just trying to get the best price. I can help them understand that.
Sure.
And so my papa used to say that you can't ride two horses with one behind, but I try to do that to the best of my ability, just to make sure that I want an even playing field for everybody.
Yeah. That's real with you. Like you can see it in your eyes.
Oh,
Like that's a real deal thing. Thank you so much for hanging out
Thanks,
with me
Heath.
here and being my first interview here in Memphis.
I'm honored. I've been wanting to be on this podcast for a long time. I know I've been badgering you about it, so you
No,
finally
you
get
haven't. Whatever. Anyhow, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Heath.
it. We'll figure out how to turn on something in a minute. But thank you. That was fun.
That
I
was
really
so
enjoyed
good.
it. Yeah. That was good.
Oh, that's the most important thing I said the entire time.
Dude, that was awesome. I actually really enjoyed that part actually, because I'm trying to figure this out. I've been hooked on ACV gummies since I'm out. Apple cider vinegar gummies.
Oh.
They're like my new thing right now.
Jacob
Because they cut down my bloating and they cut down because they break down all the.
Jacob takes AG1 and he really likes it.
I've been trying to get over that too, but yeah, dude, I'm on these.
Yeah.
AC,
Like something like that, I would buy it.
it's a probiotic, helps with bloating.
I do
helps
take
with-
probiotics. I probably should have said that.
Anyhow, yeah, I saw your phone and I was like, shit, I've been talking to you. I don't know how long we recorded, but anyhow.
I was
you
just
took-
silencing everybody.
Yeah, dude, you're good. Yeah, turn this off.
That was so fun.
Dude, thank you for doing it. That was awesome. I'm gonna stop recording now.
You do so good at disarming people and making it feel.
Oh, thank you.
It's just a conversation.
That's all I want it to be. It's just a conversation. Forget the cameras on. Forget
It's
any
not
of
a
that.
scripted thing. Like,
No, I hate doing that. Because if I'd have given you, because you
nobody
go, what are we
wants
going
to
to talk